So we're moving right from Hungary and all its so many experience. Great race for McLaren. Not a great race for the Red Bull. So many sulking points, so many tipping points and all. Good one for Mercedes consistency, but not on their own turf. They were lucky also, like they were in Austria. And with upgrades that they said they are bringing, let's see what will happen. And to Ferrari, they still have a lot of work to do. They are picking up pace. They are finding solutions to their bouncing and others. But moving to Belgium for the Belgian Grand Prix, one of the most iconic racetracks on the calendar, the Spa-Francorchamps. Sorry if I didn't get it right. Yeah, the Spa-Francorchamps. And news coming in saying Matteo Binotto, the former team principal of Ferrari, is now the CEO and the CTO of Audi, coming Audi in 2025. Andre Seidel and his team and some part of his team are leaving. They're having a new project, so they need somebody that will be able to carry on with the project with them. That's for Audi, so they need somebody, and they think the person to lead them on that project should be Matteo Binotto. And from what we are getting, from 2026, Alpine will be moving on with Mercedes engine. We saw Flavio Bravia and Bruno Famin in Silverstone talking to Red Bull, but people were saying, are they discussing with Red Bull so that they can get Red Bull powertrain? And in my mind, I was like, wait, Red Bull and Renault had issues when Renault was supplying engine to them. That almost turned into Chris Horner and the team principal of Renault then almost throwing blows. Now, well, Alpine using the Renault engine. Now go and go and get the engine from Red Bull. It's going to be fun. I was thinking about it. This is going to be dramatic. How will these guys run this whole package? But unfortunately, it's confirmed that they will be running with Mercedes from 2026. And why? They said it pays them to get a 17 million engine each from Mercedes per year than to start building their own engine for over 100 million from 2026. So, do you think it's a good deal? Now, they will have to take 5 engines for the year, right? Let's go through the calculations. If they're developing their own engine for 100 million and getting the engine ready-made 17 million, wait, good deal. Forget about it. It's a good deal. I leave it at that. For me, I think it's a good deal and I walk away. Development over 100 million, then you now start making the engine. How much will it cost you? And you're getting engine 17 million from somebody that's developed. Okay, move on. So I think it pays them. It makes sense. Now, going to Spa-Francorchamps is one of the greatest tracks that are taking lives even in recent times. And we've seen a lot of accidents that are mind-boggling, but a lot of things have not changed. The terrain is beautiful, especially the Enrogue. Climbing the hill, the sharp corner, and in the rain is not one of the best tracks to run on. Now, in Spa, we have opportunities to overtake. Opportunities plenty to overtake in Spa. We might see a lot of overtakes in Spa, unlike Hungaroring. It's going to be beautiful. And the Spa track is a track that they've always used. The race course, even for the 24 hours Le Mans, also runs there. You know, it's beautiful. And the first national race in Belgium was held in 1925 on a race course around there. And the circuit, the Spa-Francorchamps race course, was built in 1921. It was not used until 1924. So it was first used only for motorcycle racing. After the 1923 success, the new 24 hours Le Mans in France and then Spa 24 hours, a similar 24 hours endurance race was ran there. So for you to know, it has its historical heritage. That's why it's still on the present grade. Now, number of times they've held the race, 79 times. That's from 1925, like I said. Drivers with the most win, Michael Schumacher, 6 wins. Wow. Constructor with the most win, Ferrari, 18 wins. So the length of the circuit is one of the longest circuits on the calendar. It's about 7.004 kilometers. That's about 4.352 miles. The race length is 308.52 kilometers. That's 191.393 miles. The 44 lap race. Last year, pole position Charles Leclerc for Ferrari and Mr. Red Bull won the race. Max Verstappen won the race, not by a big margin over his teammate. While Max Verstappen came from behind to win the race, as in had to lap about 4 drivers or 5 drivers to win the race. Sergio Perez took over the leading position from the second lap and was out there. Charles Leclerc came third, 32 seconds behind Max Verstappen, 10 seconds behind Sergio Perez. Lewis Hamilton managed to steal the show with the fastest lap. Those cars were not there for those times. They were not there. They were still struggling. Since 2022, other manufacturers are struggling, but Red Bull got it spot on and now they are struggling. Let's see what happens in the next race in Belgium, but it's going to be very interesting with a lot of things we are seeing, a lot of shots, and we are seeing this at this time because the extension, major teams like Mercedes and McLaren, even Ferrari are closer to Red Bull like not before. So war of words, a lot of things will be thrown and let's see what comes up, but it's going to be very interesting. The weather is going going to be a little bit dicey because there's a prediction for rain during the qualifying, but there's a reasonable chance of rain on Friday and Saturday. But prediction for rain during the qualifying, that's a 50%. But on race day, there might be slightly lower chance of rain. Like last year, there was rain for like 3 laps, but it was drizzling, and that was it. It didn't go more than that. It was not so much. So the drivers were able to survive on that rain, and it did not last the pain of the rain. But how would the weather be this weekend? Well, we hope it's going to be a very good weather. But like I said, on Friday, Saturday, there are chances of rain. The tire compound to be used: C2 will be the hard, C3 will be the medium, and C4 will be the soft tires because of the high abrasion and the little technical difficulties they are going to face on the track. It wears tire more than the normal track, so it's a 44 lap race. So the drivers are going to really duel it out there. There's less heat in Belgium, unlike in Hungary, so it will be a very different race. And to me, I'm still looking at the McLaren and the Red Bull on pole. The Mercedes might bring up this that might push them, but McLaren, Red Bull on pole, and the race is between the McLaren, Red Bull and the Mercedes. But I think Mercedes might have an upper hand because there will be long straights, unlike the other races that we've seen that they have suffered. But here, I think the Mercedes will do well in this race. I think they are going to do well in this race. Let me give you a lowdown from 2022. In 2022, in qualifying, we had the Mercedes being able to try and get into Q3. Verstappen got the pole position with a big distance, over 6 tenths, and people like Hamilton were about close to 2 seconds away from him. And in that race, he had to take an engine penalty and came back and win the race. Max Verstappen, I'm talking about, he won the race easily, 18 seconds ahead of his teammate. They had the most dominant car. Then 2023, he was out qualified by Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc was on pole. I think Max Verstappen took penalties also, was meant to be on pole, and he came back to win the race, 22 seconds. So I think this year is a different year, and with all the things that are going on, like I said, it's going to be a very tough race for them, but I still see them in the mix. After the mid-break season, the Ferrari will come back, but for now, I think Ferrari would need to analyze what they have been going through. They have 3 weeks after the next race to find out what has really happened and how they can get back on their feet, and I think that would help Ferrari in the coming race. But up until FP1, FP2, I love you guys. Bye.